let's go. Okay, let's go over to Nate. You said you played Astro. That was the big game on the PS5 you played, right?
Yeah, because it's the only one I have.
Yeah, well, it came with the system.
So that's right.
Hold on, you knew the PS5 was showing up? You didn't order a game for it?
I did not know it was showing up.
Oh, this was a surprise.
Yes.
Interesting.
So I did not have any pre-plans. It showed up, and I was like, "Yeah, I play Astro."
Seems like there's a backstory there you're not getting into, but all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay,
so I played Astro, and
okay. So what was your thought? Okay, you played Astro. What was the feeling on that?
It's a good nostalgia celebration of the PlayStation brand.
Okay, great.
A lot of references.
What about that DualSense?
It's a good demonstration of what the DualSense can do. A lot of neat features to it. The microphone, it adds a little bit to the immersion, because if you actually look at it, when you're getting hit by like the snow, well, not the snow, the hail and rain, you get that little bit of kind of like a ding, ding, ding coming out of the controller speaker, and then you get the haptic feedback. So it really makes it feel like you are getting hit by rain.
Well, you know, it's really interesting.
Without that, though, you wouldn't get that full feedback.
I think the speaker working in conjunction with the advanced haptic feedback is really good. I think that is a great idea for them to have.
It enhances the immersion you get from it.
Yes. You know what's really interesting though is we've seen this because the Switch has done it for a while with its like Pro controller or the Joy-Con controllers. They can run those sound files through the Rumble motor. So it like matches up perfectly. And that's why everything just like feels really like you say, immersive together. And we've seen the DualSense do the same thing where it can make noise. Like it can actually make sounds just from the Rumble.
Yeah, it reminds me of kind of you took a Switch Pro controller and merged it with a Wiimote, and you had that speaker. Because when you played like Wii Sports and you were golfing or whatever, the speaker did the boom whenever you hit the ball or you threw the strike. Now, if you added like HD Rumble to that, you'd basically get the DualSense. So in a way, Astro's Playroom is the Wii Sports of the PS5.
I think it's a good enough idea where Nintendo's next system, they look into that for their Pro controller and incorporate the Joy-Cons in that way, whatever their next system ends up being. Because I think that is a good idea to take that like haptic feedback to the next level. But what'd you think of those adaptive triggers, Nate?
They are utilized well in Astro. Because it's interesting when you get the artifacts and you go to zoom in and you have a little bit of the resistance. And then once you're out of that screen and you no longer really need the triggers, they're completely loose. Or when you're, you become like a rocket?
Yeah,
and you have that resistance to build up the pressure, to build up, the actual launch.
Or did you like the one where you're climbing up the side of like a cliff?
The monkey thing?
That's cool, isn't it? Where it like locks
that was cool
down.
And because you had certain rocks where if you put too much pressure, it broke, so you slipped.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's really neat use of the adaptive triggers. So it shows how a platforming game, maybe Ratchet and Clank, could utilize the triggers in a very engaging way. Because I kind of felt like Astro was a Ratchet light. It's giving us hints as what we could see from the genre.
Do you know what my issue now is? Because I took apart that DualSense and I looked at how the mechanism works, I can actually feel like those like bars slide into place now because I know what's happening in there. So it kind of breaks it a little bit for me because I can, like, as I'm pulling down, I can feel them like rotate into place. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I know what's happening. It kind of got rid of some of the magic for me for that. But it is a really cool idea. I hope developers use it.
That's the concern.
After this year.
I can see it. If third parties don't use it, then it's not going to be utilized by pretty much. It's not going to become a standard because third parties have no incentive to use it
over there.
Unless
Kojima's next game, come on, he's going to use it in incredible way.
We don't know when Kojima's next game is going to be.
It's going to be awesome.
Deliver the mail for USPS because we can't deliver it on time right now.
Well, hold on. How do you think Silent Hill's going to use that DualSense controller?
What?
Who knows? We'll find out.
That fake rumor again.
I don't know if we'll see. I could see it using the haptic of kind of doing like a heartbeat type of system and not necessarily the adaptive triggers. Because
I don't know if you gotta,
unless you're like strangling a dog.
If you're being chased and you got to open a door and it's forcing its way back on you. Like,
no, the only haptic it's going to simulate is a slot machine pulling the handle.
Oh, there it is.
Definitely.
We got that in Astro already.
We did. Wait, Ryan, what do you think about that Silent Hill rumor?
seems like there's I've been covering it for a while. It seems like there's multiple people that on many occasions don't know each other, think that it's coming. Yeah. So
here Nate over here.
Or there's smoke, there's fire.
If you follow rumors long enough, you kind of pick up on like what's probably going to happen and what's not. Like we all saw Demon Souls a mile away because it just kept coming up too often. So it seems like something is definitely happening. We just don't know how far along the project actually is, if it's really a thing, which presumably it's still got a long ways to go. Presumably.
Ways off.
Nate's doing that thing where he goes, like when you're saying something.
It's a little ways off still.
Okay.
It's not around the corner. It's a little.
They said, it's what, around 2018 or 2019 it started. So, I mean, they don't have anything to show. We can't expect it next year. But then again,
it's definitely not 2021. We're looking at maybe at the earliest a late 2022 release.
Yeah, that seems somewhat realistic to me. But I also thought, oh man, we're not going to see another Spider-Man or God of War till like probably around there, 2022. But sure enough, we got a small bite-sized Miles Morales. Now we're getting God of War 22. I still can't believe that we're getting that 2021.
You think that's PS4 game too? You think that's PS4 game too? Yeah.
I'd assume it's PlayStation 5.
Okay. I
assume it is.
If it'd be cross-gen. I'm 50-50 on it. It might be cross-gen.
They're still super conservative. I mean, they're generations games, traditional console model, spend $70. Like, it was surprising to see 3 cross-gen games, but I'm thinking that might be about it. Maybe 1 or 2 other ones. Horizon's obviously probably the most
that's a
controversial one.
Yeah, that one hit kind of hard. I was like, it's too bad. But
yeah, I was like, well, they definitely have to. Like, that would definitely be a bottleneck. Like, there's certain games where you can say, all right, that can be on both, no problem. But Horizon, I'm thinking, they probably could have done a lot more.
Yeah, it's because it's open world, and they already talked about some limitations on the PS4 before it. So that's why I'm like, okay. Maybe they have some extra stuff on the 5. I don't know. PS5.
Like Jim Ryan just said, like, oh, that game's being designed with PS5 features in mind. Like, yeah, passive features. So it's going to have DualSense features. It's going to use
triggers. That after trigger,
there you go.
Load times to be faster.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, there's still the memory problem. You're going to have memory issues. The second you try to design anything about going into a building or walking outside or whatever, you're going to think, okay, well, what can PS4 do?
Yeah, exactly.